Record to the. How's everybody doing? Anybody got any wins to share? Anybody want to share any wins in the chat? If you are on Facebook and you want to jump on Zoom with us, go ahead and do that. If you don't get our text messages and you want to get registered for text, comment text so you can get those. Because we send out a text message when we go live, every time we go live, whether we go live on Facebook or we open up a Zoom. And you want to make sure that you get those notifications. We don't text you otherwise, by the way. The only time we text is to let you know that we're sending out a notification that we're going to do a free training. So that's the only time we text you, is there's going to be a free training. I'm going live to do a free training. That's the only time we send out a text message. Otherwise, I never text you. I'm not texting you updates on what's going on in my life. I'm not saying hi for funsies. So you don't have to worry about anything like that. Hope everybody's having a great day. Yep. Thank you, Allie. Allie's got the text marketing too. There's the number and you'll be added right to our list. Okay. Okay, so what we are talking about today is we are talking about expanding your reach. We're talking about social media presence today, and we're kind of debunking some of these ideas of omnipresence, being everywhere, doing all of the things. There is a lot of different strategies on social media. And what I'm going to be talking about today is some of my favorite strategies on social media and why I think they're the best strategies. That doesn't mean they need to be the best strategies for you. They're what I think are the best strategies for me and why my clients are having such great success with these strategies and what we're doing to get our clients success. Now, that being said, it doesn't mean you have to do everything that we say. What I think is the best strategy for you is the strategy that you're going to follow through with. It's the strategy that you feel is going to be best for you. So I always like to put a placeholder, a caveat to anything I say with the first coach I ever hired told me to message 100 people a day on LinkedIn. And I did not like that strategy very much. They were like, I can help you grow your accounting business. I can help you get more clients within your accounting business. And at the time, I wanted to be a fractional CFO. And I thought to myself, great, this guy's going to help me get more clients. And so he helped me set up a LinkedIn profile. I'm still like, this person is a nice human. Right? And what worked best for him did not work best for me. And I was like, listen, I don't want to send 100 messages on LinkedIn. And they said, but if it works, why wouldn't you just do it? And I was like, because I don't want to do it. Right? And if it's not something I want to do, and if it's not something I'm going to do, then it's not going to be the best strategy for me. And at the end of the day, so I want you guys to know that the best strategy for you is going to be something that you're going to feel good about. I also want you to keep in mind that the best strategy for you is likely going to be a strategy that you feel good about consuming. Right? How you like to be marketed to is likely how you want to market. How you like to be sold to is how you will like to be selling. I didn't want to be messaged and cold messaged. I didn't want people hopping in my DMs. So therefore, I felt weird about messaging people and cold messaging people because I didn't even like people messaging me. So how did I want to market to people was the way I like to be marketed to, right? And so we noticed this with our clients. We thought, well, for our clients, what do we do to market to them? What do we do to sell to them? And that's exactly what we'll show them to do, right? We'll show them how to use these same exact strategies, how to use these exact same frameworks to get clients, to increase their reach, so they can have successful businesses. And by the way, these are the same exact things I did to grow my outsourced CFO business. It grew pretty quickly. So in January, I want to start this with a little bit of a story before I bring Danae on here. In January 2019, January 21st, 2019, I actually started a Facebook group. Now, I didn't start this Facebook group with absolutely no Facebook group experience. I actually started that Facebook group because I had an aha moment. I started that Facebook group because I already owned a Facebook group. It was called The Motherhood. I still own that Facebook group today. That Facebook group grew, and it was a community, a resource for women in my community, moms in my community, to come together and help each other and share resources and share things that were going on in my community. We did meetups. I built this group with Allie, who is on my team. Most of you know Allie. We built this community together. And at the time I thought, well, geez, if I could build a community that's successful, and I did it very intentionally, it wasn't like this, I built it and they will come. I actually built that community with intention. I went into other groups. I focused on a strategy to build that community. I wanted it to grow so I could promote something. I promoted my fitness classes. I had fitness classes called Mom Strong. They were mommy and me style fitness classes that focused on being able to bring your kids with you to a fitness class where your kids could play with you and do the exercises with you. It was very intentional. I didn't make a lot of money on that side hustle, but it was fun. It was a good way for me and my friends to stay in shape with our kids. There wasn't a lot of exercise classes like this local to us. So I created them. But I realized in January of 2019, well, shoot, if I could do that for my mom's group, I wonder if I could build my business using a Facebook community, just like I did here. And so I built my first community, and it was called The Profit Mindset. And the focus was helping entrepreneurs build their businesses profitably with intention. And that was what the content was about. What's great about this is this community has evolved, and it's the same community that I'm live streaming into today. Same exact group. And you'll notice that this group, since it's been alive since 2019, it isn't massive. Yet I've been able to make over $2.5 million out of this group. It's not massive. I don't have 40,000 people in it in order to make that money. And a lot of people would say it's impossible to make that kind of money with such a small audience. Yet we've been able to do it because we've been so intentional. We've focused on only building our audience with quality people. We've focused on making sure that we have the right people in our community. It hasn't been about building our community with tons of people just because you're in the financial niche. And at one point, we were building that community with just small entrepreneurs, which many have left since because they see us speaking to accountants. So we've seen ups and downs of people leaving because they realize, oh, this group isn't for me anymore, right? But our marketing has been very, very good in making sure that we polarize the people who shouldn't be there and they leave. So our Facebook group has served us in a way to make sure that we polarize people and they leave the community, and it magnetizes people to make sure they stay. They want to be part of this community. So all that being said, today what we're going to talk about is how to eliminate the hustle of social media and trying to be everything to everyone, and why our strategy, we believe, is one of the best strategies you can use to build your company. And I'm going to break that down. Danae, are you available? I see your camera off. Okay. But I'm going to start that by talking with one of our clients, Danae, today. So I am going to pin her with me. There we go. Danae, you look so beautiful today.
Okay, I didn't know if I could come off mute. Thank you. I was filming today, so I was like, perfect timing.
Perfect timing. This is Miss Danae Wolf. Danae is the CEO and founder of Profit. What remind me there of the rest of your
Perfect Academy.
Profit Perfect Academy. I was like Profit Academy, and I was like, I forgot the middle word, Profit Perfect Academy. And she teaches entrepreneurs, online coaches, and service providers how to be more intentional in their companies and create more profit, which she's doing an amazing job at. And recently just had a successful launch and has had six more women.
Yes.
5 or 6.
Yeah, we did 6.
Six
Our
more
minimum
women.
goal was 3. Our stretch was 5, and we did 6.
6 more women join her program so they could build their companies with more profit in their companies. So, which is awesome. So congratulations, Danae, on that.
Yeah.
Danae, why don't you start by telling us a little bit of history about you and how you built this company and how the Profit Perfect Academy came about.
Yeah. So for me, I actually started and I owned a restaurant because I kind of was that kid who graduated from college and was just like, I don't want to have a boss. Like nobody's going to be in charge of my destiny. So I opened up a franchise restaurant and quickly was like about to go bankrupt. Like I was actually getting evicted from the restaurant because I was so effing broke that I couldn't pay the rent. And I realized when I was getting evicted that my numbers were a mess because I went to the bank to try to get a loan and they asked for a P&L. And I was like, what the F is that? Like I had no idea. So in the process of getting the loan, I had to get my financials together. And when I did that, everything that was wrong with my business like became very apparent. It was like the answers jumped off the page at me. So I actually just started volunteering at my local women's business center to teach financial literacy to female entrepreneurs because I was just like, hey, if you're broke, here's the solution. Like I fixed everything in my business. Like I secured the other loan, but then I literally made the business profitable overnight. I paid off $160,000 in loans in 3 years and opened up a second restaurant and paid all cash. I didn't even have to go into debt. So I was just like, blown away by how this changed my life. So I literally was volunteering and I would just go to the Women's Business Center and teach these classes. And through that, this just very organically came to be because women started asking if they could like hire me for coaching. And then because of COVID, I couldn't go to the WBC, the Women's Business Center anymore. So then they were like, can you start doing them on Zoom? And I was like, okay, I've never Zoomed in my life, but let's figure it out. And then I started recording them and we ended up creating the Academy.
Amazing. I love that. And I love your story because I think the best coaches, the best financial coaches, the best, I think the best of anyone in their space, it always happens so naturally and organically. It's not, I think especially in the coaching space, we have such a bad rap because everyone thinks like, oh, everyone wants to be a coach, right? It's always like the easy route for some reason. But I think the best of us, we just came here naturally. And like, I love that about your story is like, it's you found this route because you lived it. You went through this because you have seen what it's like to be flat broke on the brink of bankruptcy. And you had to understand financial literacy to get yourself through it. So I think it's so awesome to hear like really where you came from and have other people hear that. This wasn't just like, I decided one day, right? Which is what we hear so often, like in this space. It's like, I decided one day, or I took a course from somebody else and I decided I would make that course mine also, right? Like, which is a lot of BS. So, um, love that. Now, as far as like us meeting, we've known each other for quite a while. You've been in my
Yeah.
space probably since like 2019.
I was gonna say, I feel like it was even before COVID. So I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah.
it was 2019. Yeah.
Yeah, so probably since 2019. So you were probably around when I started the original Facebook group. And so you have a Facebook group. Why don't you tell everybody about your Facebook group if they were interested? And I know we have a lot of financial professionals in here, but that's not to say that some of them may learn a lot from you. So what's the Facebook group that you have if anyone wants to learn from you, and we can find that and tag it in the
The
live stream
profit
later.
factor.
The Profit Factor. Yes.
Mhm.
So we'll tag that later for you guys if anyone is interested. So the Profit Factor is Danae's Facebook group. And ultimately, Danae, I'd love to hear, and I'm sure everybody else would love to hear, like, you're obviously one of our clients. Now, what ultimately, you've been following me again, you've been in our world, we've talked back and forth. Ultimately, why did you decide to start working with us?
Yeah. So for me, it was literally the natural progression of my life. When I first came across you, whether it was like 2019, early 2020, I was just in a place in my life where I was pregnant with baby number 3. I like had preeclampsia. Like I was just like not in a place where I could really go all in. And this year, when I was just like not this year, last year, but I was thinking about this year, I was just like thinking about the dynamic of my family, because everything I do is to make sure that I can be a better, more present wife and mother. And I realized this year for 2023, I would have both of my older kids in school, actually both of them in summer camp for the first time. Last year I was only able to send one because the other one wasn't old enough. And my 3-year-old is starting to do activity, or like starting to do activities and doing other things, where I basically realized I'm going to come to a point in 2023 where I actually have some time on my hands. And I just wanted to be really intentional with how I spent that time. So for me, it was just about it being the right time in my personal life for me to focus on scaling and going to the next level. And I just have like a fear of like having too much time and being like useless. Like I hate being useless. So I was like, all right, well, let's be intentional about how we're going to fill those holes of time that I knew were going to happen in 2023.
Yeah. And so where were you at that time in your business?
What
was going on?
For the end of last year?
Yeah. What was going on that you were like, I need help?
Yeah. So for me, I had, and I don't even remember where I do remember. So I was a keynote speaker at an event, and everyone was like, all the entrepreneurs who were there were talking a lot about their sales strategy. And I was like, I don't have one of those. I come from this place of, if you build it, they will come. And I had really just been navigating my whole career with, I am just going to go live once a week, and I'm going to serve the shit out of the clients that I do have and hope for referrals. I never asked for the referral. I very rarely, if ever, actively sold. I wasn't selling. And I was sitting throughout these 4 days of this conference at tables with people who had like actual like processes for how they were selling. And I'm like, I have a process for everything in my business. Like, how the fuck do I not have a sales process? But I really didn't. So I was like, okay, I know that I'm going to have the time. I know that I have the drive. And I kind of just went down like the YouTube, TikTok rabbit hole, trying to find the strategy. And I was just like, no, like this is supposed to be about protecting my time and being intentional with it. Like, this is not a good use of time. So I don't even know what you posted. Honestly, I can't remember, but you posted something and I was like, I'm going to reach out to her. And then I reached out to you and I was just like, if you tell me exactly what to do, I will do it. I have the time to do it. I don't have the time to research and figure out what I have to do and then also do it. I need to cut through all the bullshit and I just need to go to, this is what you have to do. And that's what I
Yeah.
said to you. I was just like, tell me exactly what to do and I'm in.
Yes. And so since then, since working together, we've done a lot of that where it's been like, this is what you need to do.
Yes.
And how has that been going?
Crazy in a good way. So literally I had like a very low ticket digital course that I never actively sold, but would like randomly get people into it. Just if somebody like very organically and naturally started talking to me. And then with Alyssa sitting down and just figuring out like, what is it that I'm actually trying to do? What is it that I'm actually trying to achieve? And we went in and completely revamped what I actually offer, created a group coaching program, and then actually came up with a process to sell it. And I remember the first time that I was like, okay, I'm just going to very passively try to do this and actually sell, but I don't have like high expectations. I didn't set goals. I didn't like anything. I was just like, all right, Alyssa, I'm just going to like try it. And it wasn't even like a full blown launch. Like this was her like easy breezy method. And I made like almost $4,000 in one day. And I was like, oh shit, like what if I actually turn up the dial? So now I'm like, okay, I want to go like all in, like do a whole thing. So we booked a call and I mean, you just had every template, everything like that. Cause I'm very like like I need to know like, okay, that all sounds great in theory. It's Tuesday at 10 a.m. What am I supposed to be doing right now? Like that's how micro I need to get with like everything. And you just walked me through all of it, every email that we were going to do, every time I was going to go live, every story. I mean, I just had a Google Doc of a path, like a literal map to exactly what to do. And I remember when I was preparing for the launch, I was going over everything with you. You said, let go of the result. I just want you focusing on serving them, serving all the people in your launch. And I was like, all right, I'm going to serve the shit out of them. And every day of the launch, I was just like, I brought my A game. Like I know I did. And if nobody enrolls, I still know that I brought my A game, I delivered, and I know that I can go back to the drawing board with Alyssa and like tweak it and figure out like what I could have done better. And I just changed that mindset. And I added something I'm really proud of that we added in the launch was a donation. We wanted it to be charitable because I believe that financial literacy, it gives you power. And I want the power going to the right people. And I want to make sure we do good with that power. And I remember in my head, I guess I just had such a fear that it wasn't going to work out that I remember I was like, I'm doing the charity. So at least I know it's not a total failure because I knew even if nobody buys from me, somebody's going to freaking donate. And we ended up donating like over $2,500 in that launch from the donations to all kinds of like wonderful charities also, like if everybody could pick where everything was going. But yeah, I just completely let go of what the results were, focused on serving and literally followed the map to a T that you gave me. And like I said, our minimum goal was 3. Our stretch goal was 5 and we did 6.
Yeah. And it was awesome. It was fun. And it's something I say so often. It's really tough when you go into something with expectations. And this is for all of you. You go into something with expectations of like, oh, I want to make this amount of money, or I want to get this amount of clients. And you focus on the results versus serving, then it's like you're serving thinking about the results versus serving the people and thinking about the people on the other side. Like when I show up to serve you guys, I don't show up to serve thinking about results, right? And so I think that's so important to serve and for the sake of serving. And when you serve everyone for the sake of serving, the money always follows no matter what. And so that's a huge part of this. It's a huge part of any strategy, and being a what's the word? Being a mentor to your community, being someone who is, you want to be an authority, you want to be a mentor, you want to be someone who is like, I'm here to help you. But if all you are looking for is the money at the end of the rainbow, then that's all they're going to see you as, right? Because we feel that energy, right? We feel that desperate energy. And so that was all I wanted Danae to do is I just want you to show up to serve. Don't think about the result. Release the idea of the result and just show up to serve them. And she really did. And man, the feedback that she got on this entire launch, and it was really like a masterclass 5-day challenge. The result was great. But what I loved watching more than anything was the feedback that people were giving of like, this was incredible. This was so fun. Thank you so much for everything you provided today. I can't wait until tomorrow. And so often, you guys, people show up for challenges and they are just like, this is a snooze fest, right? So it was awesome to watch people just be blown away by it. So she killed it in that. I had nothing to do with that at all. So congratulations on that.
And I think too, I want to add this because I feel like this is important for people to know. So I didn't do huge numbers. It's not like I have this massive audience and it's not like I had like 1,000 people register. We had 100 people register for the masterclass. We had between 23 and 26 actually show up each day. It was 5 days. The day that we pitched 2 days. The day that we pitched, there were 23 people on it. And the second day that we pitched, we were going back and forth between like 21 and 24. So I wasn't working with a massive audience, which I remember is something that I was like super, stressed about going into it. And Alyssa was just like, I don't care if 2 people show up, serve the shit out of them, like just bring value. So I wanted everybody to like know that it's not like I had like, 2,000 people on this masterclass and we sold 6. Like it was very, very small. 23 people the first day I pitched.
Yep. Sometimes the numbers, like I talk a lot about like marketing math, but at the end of the day, sometimes the numbers don't even matter. And I said it in the very beginning of this call. Most people don't think that I should be able to make the type of money that we've made with our Facebook
With that
group
audience size.
Yeah, with our audience size, because it really isn't very big.
Well, I think too, though, even just with like the copy we put together, you made sure we really curated that so that we had the right asses in the chairs. So if I had 200 people and maybe only 25% of them were my ideal client, like no, when I say 23 people, all 23 were the perfect fit. And we did that by all of the copy and strategy that Alyssa and her team built out for me prior to the launch.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about that too. We're going to talk about copy and quality. So, Danae, my last question for you is anyone who is considering working with us, what would you say to them?
Fucking do it.
Do it. Not just do it.
If you're like actually ready, like don't do it half-ass. Like come in intentionally ready to scale your shit to the next level. Like it's not like like you guys aren't going to come in and like learn through osmosis, right? Like we want to come in, she will teach you everything, she will give you everything, but you have to do the work. You have to do it. But the way that you're going to do the work is going to be way more efficient. Like I am definitely doing less now following her process than I was when I was trying to figure out the process. And like, I was just like flinging shit against the wall, trying to see what would work. And like, I think like in the beginning, when we first started working together, I literally cried on our call because she was giving me all my like resources that they give you in the program. And I was like, this is going to save me so many hours. Like I'm going to have more time for my kids. Like I got so emotional and literally started crying because time is our most precious resource, right? Like they've already figured it all out. They have all the tools there for you. And if you're in a place where you're ready to roll up your sleeves and like actually get to work, I would definitely suggest you guys get on there, at least just book a call with her and learn more of the details, but it's a game changer.
Yeah. And I agree with that, Danae. If you're not ready to do it and ready to do the work, don't book a call. It's not worth it because you'll get in and be like, oh, there's work to do here. I'm not ready to do the work. And that's going to be a waste of everybody's time. So if you're ready to scale your business, if you're like 2023 is the year I definitely want to scale my business, I'm ready to do the work, I'm ready to take action, then we're here to give you all the resources to take the action. If you don't want to take action, then it's not worth anybody's time. And honestly, like we have Tiffany Ware, she's checking on people on a weekly basis. Don't waste her time, right? She's doing weekly check-ins for her accountability coaching. And she's going to be following up with you every week. And all it does is annoy her when you're not doing anything, right? Because she's like, yeah, I checked in with so-and-so again. They're still not doing anything, right? And then I got to get on a call with you and be like, hey, you didn't do anything for the last month and you're not getting results in our program. And it's kind of putting a damper on things. Like, we don't want to have those conversations. We only want to have conversations about like this, where we're like, Danae's killing it. Danae just did a 30K launch. And before that, she did 10K with the easy, breezy, beautiful CoverGirl launch. That was no big deal, right? Like
it was literally so easy.
right. And so we want to have those conversations. So if you want to have those conversations, but Danae put in the work. So
and I saw something. I don't remember who the hell said this, but I was watching something the other day. I feel like it was an athlete, probably, because there's always like football on here. But the guy was saying how he had like set up like a plan of like how he was going to work out. And he was like, someone said, how do you stick with it? Because it's like very like hard workout. I can't remember who this was. And he literally said, oh, it's easy. I don't negotiate with myself. Once I say, this is what I'm going to do, we all have that tendency to like talk ourselves out of it. And he's like, no, I don't negotiate with myself. Like if we made a deal, me, myself, and I'm sticking to it. So if you guys are ready to like stick to the most badass plan that all like the troubleshooting's already done, then you need to like book a call and figure this out. I'm like her biggest cheerleader. Because if you would have told me this 3 months ago, that I would have just did this friggin' masterclass, I would have been like, hell no. Like that would have been so much work to figure out. It was all figured out for me. I just had to step into a place where you just have to execute.
Yep. Yeah. And it was a lot of fun. And it was fun to watch too. So thank you so much, Danae. And yeah, Tiffany's going to drop that link for you guys, and we'll move on to talking about some strategy and what all this looks like. So thank you. Love you, girl. All right. Well, was that helpful? Was that fun to hear from Danae today? Was that awesome? I think it's always fun to hear from somebody who is going through it, who is working through it, who is getting real life results. You guys hear from me, and the reality is, hearing from me and hearing results I'm getting, I realize that I'm removed from it, right? I'm removed from where you're at right now. But hearing from Danae, where she was selling her program, selling her profit program here and there, right, once in a while. And she wanted to have a sales strategy in place. She wanted to be more intentional about making money when she wanted to make money. And I knew when she talked to me, I was like, yeah, I mean, this is what I do. I can help you make money whenever you want. So that's what we do, right? So I want to walk you guys through this. I'm going to use my whiteboard to do this because I think it'll be the easiest way to do this, right? How about that? How about we work on the whiteboard? So I want to talk about what I think is one of the best strategies to work on social media. Now, what are most people doing, right? What are most people doing? Most people right now, this is what we're going to talk about. Most people right now are using everything and they're being everything to everyone. Oh, I don't want you guys to collaborate with me. I need to not have you do that. I'm gonna make you all viewers. All right. Make you all viewers. Okay. So right now, people are doing all the things, right? So they're on TikTok, they're doing, right? Instagram. I'm gonna do some trying to do Facebook, right? What are you guys doing? Tell me about where are you guys showing up consistently? Let me get some feedback. Maybe they're doing LinkedIn, right? And then everybody's like, oh, by the way, you need to have a list. Oh my God, all your guys' little mouses are killing me. It's so hilarious. How do I get all of your little stupid mouses out of here? Do you guys see all of your little mouses? It's driving me insane. Why? What are the names? Oh, guys, go away. Just stop clicking my screen. It is hilarious. All right, LinkedIn. And then, oh, by the way, you need an email list, right? Everyone tells you, oh, you need an email list, right? How do I like not make it? Like I changed it to viewer. I don't know what I did. Oh, okay. It is there you go. That may have fixed it. Okay. I think I fixed it. Okay, there was like collaborators cursors. All right, I think we're good. That was funny. Okay, so let's keep jumping into this. All right, so TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, email list, right? And so all of the things, all of the places, and we do all of this and we want to be everywhere and we want to do all of these things because we have this fluke concept of omnipresence, right? You want to be omnipresent. You want to be everywhere because we think that we're going to get more clients if we are in more places, right? Have you guys heard this before? Or has this ever been a belief of yours that if I'm in more places, well, then I'll be more present to more people and therefore I'll be more likely to get more clients? Have you ever felt this way? Like, well, maybe if I'm in more places, or have you ever put yourself in this position where you feel the pressure to be in more places in order to get more clients, but you're like, but I don't have the time to do all of this. Right? And the reality is that I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not even on TikTok. I'm barely on LinkedIn. I don't even go on LinkedIn, right? And up until this last year, we didn't even touch Instagram. We're doing a little bit of it now, and that's only because when we post on Facebook, it goes over to Instagram. So we allow it to because it's an easy feature. Right? And so I want to talk to you about what I think, and I'm going to actually delete Instagram out of there because you technically don't need to be doing all of the things. So I want to talk to you about what I think right now is one of the easiest strategies and some of the strategies that my clients like Danae are using, my clients like Leslie and Lynn. Trying to think. I'm going to full transparency. I have not been feeling good. And so I have terrible brain fog right now. So I'm like, what other clients do I have right now? What other clients? I'm trying to think of a couple other. Dana, thank you. Shanita, thank you, Erie. This is very helpful. I appreciate you. Clients like Dana, clients like Shanita. I'm like, I have the worst brain fog. I'm hoping that I start feeling better soon, but whatever is happening, hopefully it's gone soon. So they have all been also using this same exact strategy. And what we notice that our clients that use this strategy, they get the best results with us. And so we picked up on this. We picked up on this year. I know that you can't see me, Regina. You can only see my whiteboard. It's okay. I'm sorry, but just see my whiteboard for now. Okay, so we want to talk to you about what we're doing. What we're doing right now is we're driving traffic into not just Facebook, but we're driving traffic into our Facebook group, right? Because we can't just send them, and sometimes, and so where are they coming from, right? They're coming from either email list or Am I only a viewer now? Oh, there we go. Now it's working. Jeez. Or our personal page, right? So they're coming from these two places, right? And so then they're going into our Facebook group. Why is this? Why do we want them in our Facebook group? Why do you guys think this is important? Anyone have any guesses? Let's write some notes down here. He says to nurture them. Okay. Anyone else? Lead gen strategy. Guys, if somebody opts in to your Facebook group, if they say, yes, I want to be in that Facebook group, they are essentially saying, yes, I want to be here because this is a place for me. So think about it from this perspective. If it was a group for, say, if you are super intentional about the way you name that Facebook group, if you're super intentional about the way you nurture that Facebook group, if everything around that Facebook group is about what you do and who you are. So if it's like, if you name that Facebook group where financial pros become CEOs, and you're not a financial pro, maybe you are an engineer who is really focused on learning how to be a better engineer, and I invited you to that Facebook group, you'd be like, that's not for me, right? Decline. But if you're a financial pro, if you're an accountant, if you're a bookkeeper, if you're a financial coach, you might be like, huh, this looks intriguing. Maybe I should be in here. Maybe this should be a place where I hang out, right? This is your way to create lead gen. It is a way to create your very first funnel. People that don't want to be in your funnel will opt out. They will see themselves out of the funnel. They're going to hop right out. They'll be like, no, this isn't for me. I don't want to be here. Right. And so if you're using your personal page right now and you say, hey, come join my Facebook group, come hang out in there. And they're like, no, I don't actually want to be there. That's good. Right. And so when I talk about the fact that our Facebook group has effectively been able to generate really high revenue, considering it's so small, I believe that's because we've been so intentional in who comes in there. Our audience has been focused on quality, not quantity. We don't just invite everyone. We make sure that the people that are there are only people who want to be there. Right? So what are we doing? We're polarizing and magnetizing, right? Oh, that's ugly. Oh my gosh, what is happening here? All right, just ignore it. Just ignore this. There we go. Okay. Right, you guys can see this okay, right? So you bring them into this space. What's next? Next part of this is content, right? All of you know about the 7 magic post system, right? Content. So we use things like 7 magic posts. 7 magic posts does what? Does everyone know what the 7 magic posts are? Creates engagement. Creates social proof. Creates value for our clients. Right? This is how we really build our relationship with that audience. Why? This whiteboard is driving me crazy. Okay. From there, what do we need to do? Once we have an audience that we feel has been more nurtured, what do you think is the next step to this? Any guesses? Offers. So we're going to call this promote premium. Right? So over in AJD land, we have 3 different ways of doing this. We do 5-day challenges. We have a 7-day live launch strategy, and we do a 24-hour strategy, all of which we teach in our mastermind. Right? But you have to put out an offer. You have to sell to people. You have to let them know what is available for them, right? What's nice about this strategy is it doesn't have me doing what? I don't have any crazy fancy funnels. I'm not cold messaging a single person, right? So let's write these down. What am I not doing? Cold messaging strangers. I have no fancy funnels. This is your first funnel, essentially. Can I go back to editing this? No. Of course not. That would be too easy. Oh, wait. No, I can't. Right? By the way, I'm not spending a bajillion dollars on ads to send them to a place that they're not hanging out. Now, a lot of these strategies that I see for ad strategies, what do I see people doing? I see people taking somebody off of Facebook, right? The ad strategy I see people using, they take people off of Facebook and they send them to email. And then they just want to nurture them through email, right? They send them 60 emails or whatever. How do we even know that person uses email? If the person found you on Facebook and they opted in for something on Facebook, why would we not put them back into the ecosystem that we know they use? Facebook, right? If we're going to use an ad strategy on Facebook, Facebook ads, which is what we teach, right? Let's send them back there. Do you guys have any questions about this? I kind of wanted to go today. I was really focusing on like going back to the basics of just like understanding your pipeline, understanding having a simple sales process. You do not need to overcomplicate this. It really can be starting with a personal page, driving people into a Facebook group, running some very simple ads, send them to their email list. And for that, you have a simple opt-in, right? It could be a simple opt-in that says, hey, you've opted in. Now go back to my Facebook group, right? Great, we're glad to see you here. You got whatever, you have a lead magnet, then send them back to your Facebook group. And then you use the 7 magic post system to nurture them. And then, of course, we need to promote premium. We need to make sure that we're promoting premium offers. But the reality is, I'm watching a lot of you try to be not only, I'm going to stop sharing this for a second. Close whiteboard. Not only am I watching a lot of you try to be everything to every client you have and everything to everyone, I'm also watching you try to be everything on social media, right? Create a simple pipeline. This system is simple. It allows me to show up once a week and nurture you guys, right? And the content strategy we use is simple. My content yesterday said, hey, guess what? I'm going to be live tomorrow teaching you guys this. My content tomorrow, guess what it says? Yesterday I was live and I taught you this. Do you want the replay? Here's how to get it, right? This is not complicated stuff. Yet, so many of you have overcomplicated the system. And even the launch strategy, it doesn't have to be hard, right? Danae is one of our mastermind clients. She booked a call with me and I said, here's all the templates. Here it is. Here's all the copy to model. This is exactly what you should do every single day. And she did it. Right? And she's showing up in one place. She's not trying to be everywhere. Any questions from any of you? Check the Facebook group. Feedback, thoughts, opinions. Yes. Don't need to be pulled in so many directions. How do you recommend starting our email list? So if you're already using 7 Magic Posts and you want to start your email list, I can show you really quick. A really easy way of doing it would be having people register for your class, your weekly class. Give me 1 second, let me pull it up. So weekly marketing meetings with Alyssa J. Dillon, registered here to join. You could start having people register on a weekly basis. This is one way that we grow our list, right? This is a really simple ClickFunnels. You're in our mastermind. We can give you the share funnel for this if you want. So you could just grab this from us. If you email in the Slack channel, we'll give you a share funnel code. Deepa, you recommend this no matter what our current revenue is, right? If you have 0 marketing assets. Yeah, I mean, you guys keep in mind that I started this strategy in 2019 when I had very little revenue coming in. I mean, at the time I started shifting and pivoting, but it's not like I was making buku bucks back then. Yes, this is being recorded. And this always goes, and so another thing I could share with you guys really quick. And this, I'll give you the share funnel for this as well, Erie, and anyone that's in the mastermind if you want this. Once you hit sign me up, this goes click here to access the replay vault. So you could get all the we also have all of the replays for anything. So if you need the replay to any of our calls, they're there. It is all hosted in ClickFunnels. There's the registration page for anyone who isn't registered for the meetings and you somehow got here. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Yeah, and if you have any questions about working with us and using these strategies, Tiffany, can you post the book a call link? And I'm just gonna quickly, we're gonna talk about it a little more in our marketing this week. I quickly would just want to create some awareness around our Bootcamp Plus subscription. I think one of the hardest things that our clients, so our mastermind clients already get access to this, but I think one of the more challenging things that our clients and you all deal with is actually getting content out to you, and clients getting content out to your ideal audience, right? And so what we started doing about 6 months ago is on a very small scale. We started writing content for people for boot camp. Because people would opt in for our boot camp. Does everyone here know what boot camp is? Everyone know what boot camp is? You heard of boot camp? If you're not in boot camp, let me know, because you just need to register for boot camp. Because if you're not in boot camp, I don't know what the heck you're doing. Actually, give me a feeling on, have you been in boot camp? Who has not been in boot camp? Because if you haven't been in boot camp, you're missing out terribly. It's literally $297, and I don't know. You should not even be, we should be getting you in boot camp. It's literally $297. And you get on calls with me every single Monday. I'm teaching you like the basics of marketing. Like that's the first step, girlfriends and boyfriends, guys and gals. Like, let's get into boot camp. Come on now. It's a no-brainer. Yeah, you're missing out. We're missing out. So just get into boot camp. That's the first thing. But we wanted to create some awareness around our Bootcamp Plus subscription. Who has Bootcamp Plus? Who has Bootcamp Plus? So Bootcamp Plus is the subscription that is essentially where we continue to give you content after that. So it's like, here is your monthly content to post. So yes, Heather needs back in. Heather, let's get you back in there. Tiffany, can you get with Heather? And we started doing Canva templates now too. So that's so exciting. You're going to get Canva templates. Brennan just got in. I just saw that you signed up. So we pretty much are giving you exactly what to post. You follow our content prompts. It is copy, paste, ad lib style. And here's the deal. If I were to write your content for you, if you were to hire me to write your content for you, I've done this before. I've written content for people before. I have done it. I had a client hire me to write all their content, and it was about 3 weeks worth of content, 2 to 3 weeks worth of content, their entire launch for them. And it cost them over $20,000. I'm not going to charge you $20,000. I'm not. I figured out a way to make this really easy and much more affordable, so you would be able to get content from me on a consistent basis. And that's our Bootcamp Plus subscription. And then we're adding in the Canva templates. So you'll be able to just plop your photos in there with everything. So we're just making this really simple because we want you to be visible, right? We want you to be visible. We want you to get everything out there. So if you're interested in Bootcamp Plus, what I need you to do is I need you to let us know, raise your hand and say, I want you to write my content. I want you to write my content. And then what is going to happen is Tiffany Ware is going to reach out to you. But there's a caveat to this. You have to get into Bootcamp Plus, or you have to get into 30-day Moneymaker Bootcamp first, because you have to understand the strategy. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense, right? Yes. Sarah says, I love Bootcamp Plus. Regina wants to be in Bootcamp Plus. Amazing. So we want you guys in there. And once you're in like Bootcamp Plus and you're in Bootcamp, you guys have access to me every single Monday. I do trainings every Monday with you. So I know there's also mastermind, which is high level, right? And I'm doing one-on-one and everything. But we just wanted to create some awareness around our Bootcamp Plus subscription because we have not been talking about it. We created it 6 months ago and we haven't really talked about it publicly. It's been something that's been talked about privately. And so we're going to be talking about it a little more publicly. And I wanted just to create some awareness around the fact that we have this available. Like, we'll write your content for you and what that looks like and how you can get access to that. And I'll show you guys actually really quick. Let me show you some of the content. I might as well. Let me share my screen. I just want to show you the inside of what it looks like. You guys want to see the inside of this really quick? Will that help? Put some of you over the edge. I gotta sign in really quick. Am I supposed to be on a 2 o'clock call? God, I hope not. No. Okay. Products. Okay, so basically there is, so you get access to the 30-day Moneymaker Bootcamp replay vault. So you get access to the replays of every Monday call. And then you also get Bootcamp Plus if you're in Bootcamp Plus. But then there's also, let me find actual, just like Bootcamp. Okay, I can't find Bootcamp. Why? I'm dead. Oh, it's right here. I was like, I don't understand why I can't find this. Okay, so 30-day Moneymaker Bootcamp actually goes through on like creating and publishing your content, growing your audience, nurturing your audience, right? Then you have access on the Monday calls, you get a Facebook. And so our next round, so this is an evergreen, our next actual round starts on like the 13th of February. If you're not in there, a lot of you are in there already. So Bootcamp Plus, let's talk about that. And for those of you who are in Bootcamp Plus, if you can just put some like testimonial in the comments for us, that would be super helpful. And obviously out of integrity, if you love it, if you've been in there, if you're happy with it, if you can share some of your wins and share like why you stay in there while I'm going through this, that would be great. Okay, so you get into Bootcamp Plus, what you get is welcome to the training. You get a free ticket to Moneymaker Live. So you get to come to our in-person event that's in Hilton Head, South Carolina. So that's amazing. And who's coming to Hilton Head? Who is on here that's coming to Hilton Head, South Carolina? Who's coming to meet us? You coming? Sonesta Resort? Yes. Who's coming? So you get a free ticket to our in-person event in April. That's the 20th, 21st, and 22nd. Super excited about that. You get an implementation call. So that is a one-on-one implementation call. And then module 1, you immediately get access to your social media. And then you guys, there's actual training modules in here as well. Like our goal is not for you to just get content, but we also have some, like here, be more successful with us, get some more wins with us. Here's what you can do next, right? So here's some social media prompts, right? So I'll go look at like month 2. Month 2 content. So week 1 is about, so there's always a theme. So how to pay yourself the right way. And is it time to give yourself a raise? So that's like what your content theme would be about for your audience. And so you would just look at this ahead of time. And this is all ad lib style copy. So it's like how successful niche business owners pay themselves the right way. That's what your copy is going to be about that week. So if you are talking to small business owners, or you could say local business owners, or if you are talking to, like, Erie focuses on doulas and holistic business owners, right? So whatever you're talking to, you want to fill in the blank. It's all ad lib style, right? Day, time, if you're going to go live. So all of this is in here. So templates, you literally don't have to write any of the content. You need to read it and know what you're going to be talking about, obviously. But that's essentially, like, this is all of your content written out for you. You have to copy and paste it. Now, in month 2, we don't have the Canva templates in there yet because we have somebody working on them, because this is something that we just started. But they got started in month 5, and we have somebody working their way back. And they got started in month 5, and she's working her way back. And so you're going to have them probably here, I would say by the end of the month, all of them will be in there. So she said that she could probably work pretty fast and get them all in there, which is exciting. So month 6 will be in there when month 6 strips. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, I don't know what's going on in the chat here. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Oh, love that, Katie. Brenda, you can, if you want to just put them on my business page on Facebook, that's fine. Or I don't even know what Trustpilot is, if I'm honest. Heather, when is what? I don't know what you're asking. Oh, I answered it. Okay, sorry. All right. All right, any other questions? We're over today. Thanks for staying on, all of you who stayed on today. Yeah, and I love Katie's response. Like, I use Bootcamp Plus materials on my social media. Sometimes I actually post the post word for word, and sometimes I use the topic to trigger me to create content. And that's awesome, because here's the thing, you don't always have to use exactly what I say and use my voice. Sometimes it's really good to just be like, oh, that's not exactly how I would talk about that. This is my opinion, or I feel differently about this. You guys, if you have a different opinion on me, like I might write something about, like, that instead of using a budget, you should use a cash flow analysis, right? But if you are, like, all about budgets, and you're like, if you call yourself, like, there's the Budgetnista, right? I actually think I have her book. Like, if you totally resonate with, like, Budgetnista, don't copy word for word what I said. If you're like, oh, that triggers me to say, like, I love budgets and this is why, you should talk about that, right? So sometimes it's really good to just talk about the flow, talk in flow about what I'm talking about, but not in the exact words. But a lot of times I think you could use the exact language. Other times it's great to use my ideas and create your own voice or create your own stories. It's funny, we actually went all the way back into 2019 to look at some of the copy that I used to write when I started the profit mindset. And a lot of my stories were actually, like, lessons that I learned when I was in college. Like, I wrote a story about how, and I wanted to bring this up. I was going to bring it up on a boot camp call. But I wanted to talk about the fact that some of the copy I was writing wasn't always about clients. Sometimes it was like, in college, we did this experiment, and it was about, I'm not going to get into it, but it was basically like this experiment that happened, and how I see people doing this every day, and they're constantly losing money. And the same thing happened in this college experiment, right? It's like, not all the time does your story need to be coming from a client or a client experience. Sometimes it could just come from a lesson that was learned in life. But anyways. All right. Yeah, I have to run too. I need to go pick up my kids, and I'm getting tired. So, long day ahead of me. I still have to take my kiddo to soccer. So, love you guys. Thank you all for staying on today. It was fun, and I'll see you guys next week. If you have any questions about anything we talked about, feel free to reach out. Mwah. Bye, guys.